My name is Sabrina Holloway, and I'm 33 years old. Last Sunday, I was making blueberry pancakes in my apartment in Asheville, North Carolina, when my phone buzzed. It was a voice memo from my parents, except it wasn't meant for me. It was for my younger brother, Eli. I hit play. The first words out of my mother's mouth sliced through me like glass. Sabrina's always been the odd one. I don't know how she survives doing those, birthday parties or whatever. It's embarrassing. No man wants someone like her. Then my father chimed in. We just have to focus on Eli. He's the one with real potential. That app he's working on could go big. Sabrina's still stuck in her make-believe world. I nearly dropped the spatula. They weren't just mocking me. They were erasing me. All the years I'd spent building my business from scratch gone. Every sacrifice, every late night, every tear I'd shed while making things work, they didn't see any of it. And worse, they said it to Eli, my baby brother, who I thought had always been in my corner. That message cracked something open inside me. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a war they didn't realize they'd started. Before I take you back to where it all began, do me a favor, drop a comment, and tell me the worst thing someone ever said behind your back. You'll want to hear what I did next. Growing up in Asheville, I believed we were one of those tight-knit families. Sunday potlucks, summer lake trips, Christmas caroling around the neighborhood. Mom played the loving hostess, and Dad gave me lectures about security and practical goals. I was the artsy one. The free spirit. They didn't say it as a compliment. My dad, Lawrence Holloway, ran a chain of hardware stores in the Carolinas. My mom, Janice, was the queen of the local Chamber of Commerce and led every PTA event like it was the Oscars. Then there was Eli, younger by 4 years. Charming, tech genius, everyone's golden child. When Eli got into Georgia Tech, Dad cried. When I landed a deal planning a corporate conference for a major hotel chain, silence. I never said a word about how much it stung. Instead, I worked harder. I built my business, Holloway Events, from nothing. I didn't just plan weddings and baby showers. I designed immersive brand experiences, tech expos, nonprofit galas, luxury retreats. I made 7 figures last year, but they didn't know that, because they never asked. And when they did talk about me, apparently, it was to pity me. I didn't call them. I didn't confront them. Instead, I replayed the voice memo. Again, again, again. And then I started planning, not an argument, a demolition. They thought I was odd, unmarriageable, unstable. Good, let them believe that. Let them bet against me, because I was about to flip the entire table. I called my best friend and business manager, Kendra Bass. She's the kind of woman who wears stilettos to brunch and would burn down the world if someone hurt me. I played her the memo. She didn't say a word, she just smirked. Let's make 'em eat it, publicly. We came up with a plan, 3 phases. 1, feed the fantasy. 2, catch the whispers. 3, pull the curtain, the stage. Eli's Investor Showcase, an event I'd be planning for free as the supportive older sister. Only this time, the final act wasn't about his startup. It was about mine. Phase 1 was simple. Let them think I was the version of me they already believed in. I started showing up to family dinners looking tired, hair unstyled, no makeup, wearing clothes that screamed Target clearance rack, even though I had a closet full of designer. When Mom commented, "Rough week," I gave a weak smile. Yeah, business is slow, thinking of picking up a part-time job. She didn't even hide her satisfaction. Well, you can't live in dreamland forever. I smiled and changed the subject. Meanwhile, I bought a new Range Rover. Paid cash. Never mentioned it. I met Eli for lunch a week later. He told me he was pitching his dating app to a group of major angel investors. Said he was nervous. I offered to help plan the investor night, venue, lighting, staging, everything. Really? He asked. Wouldn't that be too much for you? I laughed like it didn't slice me in two. No worries, it's not like I'm busy. Perfect. He swallowed it whole. While I played broke and broken, I started quietly collecting evidence. I accidentally left my phone on record during a lunch with Mom and her best friend, Margaret Lemley, a woman who once said I'd be so pretty if I smiled more. They thought I went to the bathroom. What they said in those 3 minutes? Sabrina's always been eccentric, still single, still playing dress-up with streamers and place cards. I don't know why she's not just working retail. I think she's hoping to marry rich, Margaret added. A shame, she used to be so full of potential. I labeled that recording. Exhibit A the next week. I called Dad pretending I was short on rent. He sighed, then said, I told Janice this would happen. You need to let go of that fantasy, honey. You're 33. Maybe if you had something real going, we could invest. But Eli's the one with the future now. He didn't know I'd bought my Asheville loft in cash 4 years ago. I saved the call. Exhibit B, I went further. I called my Aunt Nora, Mom's older sister who lives in Charleston. I told her I might move back home. She paused. Oh, sweetie, your mom said you were struggling. She was talking about maybe helping you get a job at the chamber. Something to stabilize you. Stabilize me? I was stabilizing them. Quietly paying off Mom's hidden credit card debt 2 Christmases ago. Covering Eli's first web hosting bill when he forgot to renew. They weren't just spreading lies. They were rewriting me. 3 weeks out from the investor event, I kicked Phase 3 into gear. I had quietly arranged a partnership reveal with one of my biggest clients, Ash & Lux, a luxury design firm with celebrity clientele. They agreed to co-sponsor the investor event with me. My logo would appear alongside theirs. But no one knew that yet. I had one more twist up my sleeve. The morning before Eli's event, a feature dropped in Carolina Business Monthly titled, The Woman Behind Asheville's Multi-Million-Dollar Event Empire Me. It included photos of me inside my sleek studio, detailed stats of my $4.2 million yearly revenue, and quotes from Fortune 500 clients calling me the best investment we ever made. I'd timed the digital release to go live 2 hours into Eli's party. Everything was ready, the decorations, the guest list, the wireless mic. The trap, Eli's investor event was held in the historic Grove Arcade Ballroom, a stunning Art Deco building in downtown Asheville. Chandeliers sparkled over marble floors. Velvet-draped tables, crystal glassware, all of it my design. Mom greeted guests like it was her party. Dad puffed up with pride whenever someone mentioned Eli's potential. They didn't even notice the Holloway Events logo subtly engraved on the glass centerpieces, or the embossed initials on the custom napkins. I saw Aunt Nora whisper to someone, probably retelling the tale of poor Sabrina, struggling event planner with no husband, no future. Perfect. At exactly 7:42 p.m., I tapped the mic. Good evening, everyone. Before we dive into tonight's pitches, I'd like to say a few words, not as Eli's sister, but as the event coordinator behind tonight's experience. Polite applause, people smiled. My parents blinked, confused. I continued. Some of you may not know this, but Holloway Events handles events from here to Silicon Valley. Tonight's venue, staging, lighting, and decor, that's my team's work. I gestured behind me. A monitor lit up with a slideshow. Images from the last 3 years, me on stage at corporate summits, me shaking hands with tech CEOs, quotes from the article that had just gone live. I saw Margaret Lemley's jaw literally drop. Then I flipped to the next slide. And for those who have been concerned about my well-being, Mom, Dad, the monitor switched to the audio recording. She's too odd to settle down. That business of hers is a vanity project. We need to focus on Eli. He's the one who'll make something of himself. Dead silence. Then, the second recording, my father's voice. You need something real, honey, something stable. I watched their faces. Mom froze, wine glass trembling. Dad's smile dropped like a stone. People gasped. A few turned to look at them. Eli stared at me, mouth half open. I clicked to the final slide. A photograph of me and Kendra shaking hands with the CEO of Ash & Lux. We just signed a 5-year corporate contract with Ash & Lux, I said calmly. Valued at $1.8 million. Whispers rippled through the room. So, if anyone here was wondering whether I'm doing okay, don't. I'm thriving. And then the final gut punch. Oh, and to answer my mother's question from the voice memo, no, I'm not married, but not because I'm unlovable. It's because I'd rather be alone than loved by people who don't see me. I placed the mic down gently. The ballroom erupted, some clapping, some too stunned to move. Mom looked like someone had just pulled the rug out from under her entire life. Dad opened his mouth and closed it again. I nodded once to Eli, whose face turned a deep, guilty shade of red, then walked out through the massive doors, heels echoing behind me. The fallout began before I even made it to the valet. Kendra texted. They're imploding. Margaret's crying. Your mom just stormed out the side door. Eli's frozen. You nailed it. I didn't look back. Instead, I slipped into my SUV, took a deep breath, and drove through Asheville's quiet streets with the windows down. By the time I got home, the internet was already buzzing. The article had gone viral regionally. Comments poured in, small businesses asking about collaboration, women thanking me for speaking truth, and one particular message that stopped me. I was at the event tonight. You're my hero. They said things about you, but they were so wrong. Signed, Investors United Group rep that was Eli's largest lead investor. By morning, everything had changed. I'd gained 4,000 followers on LinkedIn overnight. 3 local news outlets had reached out to do follow-up pieces. My client inquiry form had over 300 submissions. Meanwhile, Mom tried calling. I didn't answer. Dad emailed. "Let's talk, please." Eli sent a text. "I didn't know, I swear, I'm sorry, I should have said something earlier." I didn't respond. Not yet. Instead, I took a day for myself, something I hadn't done in years. Spa treatment, lavender tea, a long walk through Biltmore Forest. Then I went to work. By the end of the week, rumors had spread across the entire Holloway family tree. Aunt Nora called me in a whisper. "Your parents are pariahs right now. No one believes anything they say, what they did. It's inexcusable." Apparently, Margaret Lemley canceled her weekly brunch with Mom. Dad lost a board seat at a local foundation due to ethics concerns. Even Mom's beloved Chamber of Commerce friends stopped returning her calls. Eli, his app pitch flopped. The biggest investor, the one who sent me the message, backed out, citing moral clarity. The golden boy was suddenly not so golden. Karma didn't stop there. I found out Mom had borrowed money from Aunt Nora to tide them over, pretending it was for Eli's startup. Nora called her bluff after the event and demanded repayment. Dad's business suffered from the sudden bad press. Turns out, customers don't love hearing that you demean your own daughter while taking pride in family values. And me, I moved, upgraded. I bought a historic craftsman home in Montford Hills, 5 bedrooms, sunroom, wraparound porch. I hosted my first private dinner party there the next month. Only my chosen family attended. Kendra, my team, my clients who'd become friends, no blood relatives, and then Eli showed up, uninvited. He stood on my porch one evening in October, looking like someone had knocked the wind out of him. "I didn't say the things they said," he said quietly, "but I didn't stop them either, that's on me." I let him talk, he cried. He told me the investors pulled out because of family drama they didn't want tied to their name. He said he wished he'd stood up for me. I listened. I forgave, but I didn't let him in. "Eli, I hope you learn from this. But I'm done playing the family scapegoat." He nodded and left. That was the last time I saw him. A month later, just when I thought they'd finally vanished from my life for good, they struck again. This time it was sneaky. I got a letter on legal stationery from my father's lawyer. Inside, a notice that my childhood home, the one in Biltmore Park, the house I grew up in, the house I once hoped to buy from them, was being listed for sale. I told them years ago I wanted to buy it when they were ready to downsize. Dad had laughed. "You can't afford it, Sabrina." Now they were selling it to an outsider, a real estate developer. They didn't even offer it to me. It wasn't just a slap in the face. It was strategic punishment. They wanted me to beg. I didn't. Instead, I called my broker. "Let's get clever." I had the name of the developer from the public listing. Within 2 days, I learned that he had no real emotional tie to the purchase. He was flipping the property for a profit. So I did what I do best. I pitched him. I offered $50,000 over asking, cash. We closed in less than 12 days. And just like that, the house was mine. The same front door where I'd once walked in after school, crying because I didn't fit in. The same fireplace we sat around during Christmases I thought were full of love. Now it was my home office. 2 weeks after I moved in, my mother showed up. She stood outside the black wrought iron gate, wearing a shawl and grief like perfume. "You bought the house." I looked her dead in the eye through the gate. "You sold it to a man who didn't care. I gave him a reason to," she blinked. "It was our home." "No, it was mine, you just didn't recognize it." She tried to walk closer. I stopped her. "You're not welcome here, Janice." Her lip trembled. "Sabrina, we were just worried about you." I stared at her, steady. "You didn't worry, you decided I was broken, and you built a story where you were the heroes trying to save the failure." I turned and walked away. I didn't slam the door, I didn't cry, I just closed it. And that sound, That soft latch, it was louder than any scream. It's been 1 year since the night everything blew up. I now own 2 homes. I lead a team of 35. I've spoken at conferences about resilience and personal branding. And yes, I even started dating someone new. Slowly, on my own terms, no more seeking approval, no more shrinking myself to make room for their egos. And the house. I turned one room into a memory gallery, not of my parents, but of every milestone they refused to see. First invoice, first magazine feature, first $1 million quarter, and on the wall, framed like artwork. Sabrina's too eccentric. She'll never settle down. That business is a hobby. Every time I walk past it, I smile, because now it's a reminder of the day they buried me and the day I grew roots. If this story hit you hard, drop a comment. Would you have confronted them or walked away? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this, because sometimes the best revenge is simply showing up unapologetically.